Is it the last panel of the day, I think? Yeah. And we're going to talk about a very twisted subject, which is the AI. And I don't know if it's really twisted. However, it's really very important to hear some opinions about it. We're not going to have a presentation. We're going to have just a nice open talk. I want to invite Mr. Tom Lenda, CEO of Globtel, that he's going to be here with us in the conversation. And Mr. Manos Alefragis, Product Manager at Cytec, you can jump in. For those that you don't know me, I'm Andreas Konstantinidis. I'm head of More Than 160, an HR training and SMS consultancy firm. And we are going to be here today in order to discuss about the AI, and your questions or your output is going to be very important because it is a subject that we all have an opinion, maybe positive or negative or neutral opinion, but it's, we're going to discuss. Of course, we're going to make it in a way that how come and what is the role in the business messaging, but I think that it's much more wider than this. So, hello guys, thank you for being here. It's going to be the last panel. I'm not going to torture you anymore during this conference, don't worry.
The last but the best.
Yeah, let's see. So, Tom, AI, early adopters, business messaging. Do you want to start over? I mean, to tell us your opinion about what is happening and if there are some early adopters, and what do you think about all of this, this new evolution of the business messaging and SMS industry?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is really, how to put it in words, we are facing something which is new for everybody, right? It's like, it happened just a moment ago. Some of us here are old enough to remember that particular moment when mobiles appeared on the market, right? That was very game-changing stuff. Each of us started working with some mobiles, pretending having calls because they were expensive and etc. But we had them.
You did that as well. I wasn't alone.
You see, everyone did it.
Oh, you are laughing. Okay.
So then it was many years ago, right? But then what happened? Then again, the reality has been changed. We got an internet. That was really changing stuff, right? Because people started having an access to data, any kind of data. No matter you would like to know or you don't, you could. That's the case. It didn't stop on that. After that, what do we had? We had internet on mobiles. We haven't had even smartphones yet, but we had these old mobiles with buttons. We could go to something which was called WAP. That's everyone. I am not sure if everybody remembers that even. So after all, we got smartphones. All these steps in our past, they curved our reality to some exact direction. There was like the amount of innovations that went after that. If we could try to imagine our current reality without these 4 steps, where we would be? It would be parallel reality, totally different than that one we have right now. Okay? And what I'm thinking is like that huge AI implementation, which we're facing right now, is very, very similar point to this 4 which I mentioned a moment ago. We are facing really, really important moment in humanity where we can delegate some exact tasks to the thing that has a data and can manage that data. It's really, really challenging. That's for sure. It has its own disadvantages, but it helps. I think we are soon, very, very soon, we will finally start living in the world where at schools, we are not teaching kids about some small bacteries, some relevant factors. We will just tell them where and how to find the data to deal with, because this is what we need. Okay, if you're asking about my point of view, this is my point of view. This is something which is Really, really important. And for us, we have to be aware that it happens right now. Because people used to say that the world is changing. Very obvious thing, right? But how it's changed, that's the knowledge. If we can manage the knowledge, we can put a lot of innovations over everything around. There are no limits.
In a general terms, I have to say that you make it very simplified, you know, because you make all of this comparison with the internet and the smartphone, this evolution, and it's I understand the point, but AI, I'm not talking about the AI in messaging now. I'm talking about the AI in general. Okay? And it can be the game changer completely for the people, for the way that they think,
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to make it social, but for me it's really very important to mention that we see all around the globe that the people that don't have the basic, the common sense anymore, they don't even think about easy things. So. And now you can see with ChatGPT and this kind of stuff, you know, they have the answers there and they take and they digest the answers, no matter if the answer is wrong or right or whatever, you know.
But don't you think we had similar issues?
Pardon me?
Don't you think we have had similar issues with internet
of course,
and mobile
with internet,
implementation?
yes, of course, because you go to Google, you ask, and you take the answer. Okay, I understand, but Google is only one channel.
Agree.
Okay. In AI, we are going to have the ability to be on a store and then to have somebody telling us what to do and how to behave, you know. And it's not like I'm a technological, you know, freak, or I don't want to the technology and this kind of. I'm not a primitive person, but I think that it's a very, very fragile subject in order to be discussed so openly and so easily, because this is going to change the way that we think. That's what I want to. Anyway, it's an evolution, okay? It's an evolution. We see what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to see really what's going to happen at 55, how many years I'm going to live.
We will manage that.
Yeah, okay. But, okay. So, Manos, what is your point of view? Okay, in general, and then we're going to come back with the SMS, with the messaging, okay?
Sure.
What is your point of view?
My point of view. Well, I'm thinking it like I have two directions of thinking. One of me, that's the philosophical side. I'm a friend of science fiction like books, Philip Dick and and similar. Something that you have mentioned earlier about in an instant having access to information. Well, Philip Dick at some point tried to kind of approach this, saying that at some given point, like at some utopia, he was talking about one man could take a pill and become like expert in something. I'm not sure if it was title of the book is irrelevant. So this is what like I think can change the way we're thinking and the way we're kind of approaching things. But the other side of me, the more technical one, I like to take a look on things a little bit technically. There is not like such, innovation is there, but the thing that has changed is that the AI has been accessible through LLM. So
Sorry?
LLM, it's the model that they're using, GPT is using, and other ones like OpenAI. It's not like there wasn't there already. I mean, big data analysis, machine learning, everything was, towards that direction. So it was there, but it wasn't accessible. So that what changes the game actually is that it's accessible to everyone. And
the era has started. That's what has changed, because it was there. Of course, it was there, but now the era has just started.
I like also what you said about the internet and mobile phones. It's exactly like because I remember it. I wasn't that young, and and I remember the exact like thing, the mobile phone with the WAP and all right.
Well, okay. I would like to ask the people here, what's your opinion? Anyone want to share opinion about the AI in general? No one? Have you got an opinion about it? It's coming. Are you happy for this? Very happy. Yeah. Tell me one
You're
reason.
searching for it,
Tell
right?
me one reason that you are happy.
Better conversions, and I think that we needed a big step like this. We needed something else.
Okay, so you see it like an opportunity for a big step.
Yeah, improvements in. Thank you. Improvements
Thank you, Geraldine.
Improvements in
I
technology.
was so lazy to go there.
I'll throw it back. Improvements in technology affecting multiple markets and multiple territories is a good thing overall, so long as it can be utilized in such a way that doesn't fire missiles up into the sky.
Consider
I think
that
we all
don't
agree
have,
on that, don't we?
consider that we don't have regulations for AI yet.
We don't have
And-
regulation. Yeah, well, they're coming.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
coming.
Yeah, they're coming
But
fast.
if this regulation is like the GDPR, thank God, you know, I mean, it's going to be the most hypocritic thing that you can ever seen.
Quite possibly.
Because with the GDPR, it's you know, there's plenty of regulation, so many things that the companies has to do for nothing.
Correct.
You know? And if it's going to be the same regulation like the regulation of GDPR, then we are a bit screwed. But anyway, it is a big step.
It
I
is.
agree with you.
On the topic of regulation, I think that they have to decide first what it is that they're going to regulate.
Yes.
So, do you see what I mean? And because the world of AI is so interwoven into so many different factors of technology, and you know things are coming out all the time. You could use it for almost anything in ways that we perhaps hadn't thought of before.
I think
And
first we
it'll-
have to realize what we're going to
What is
regulate.
it that you're regulating? You know,
Mhm.
are you regulating the method, or are you regulating to protect the consumer, which obviously you would be doing? But what path does that take? And I think that's probably a bigger challenge than just writing the rules.
Yes, it is.
Because how do you understand it? Not even some of the programmers that build the bots that create the AI systems know how exactly the bots learn from each other or teach each other. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with the way that it works, or at least some of the techniques. So there's unknowns even amongst the people that are building it, let alone the regulator trying to work out how to find you. So they'll find a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most likely they will, but you know, it's like there was one important question, at least one I found. It's like, who can be responsible for what? That's the question.
Yeah.
We are not facing a human being over there,
Exactly.
right? So how it can be responsible?
Exactly. If it creates a version of itself which breaks the regulation, I mean,
The
I
world
would
is
love to
changing.
see that conversation,
Uh-huh.
you know, and how they resolve it.
So it's obviously we have an early adopter in the room. Yes, you are. Okay.
Call me for more details.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Holy Grail or buzzword?
None of them. I
None of
think
them.
the truth is somewhere in the
In the middle.
In the middle, yes, because no matter how interesting and how powerful it is, it's not a holy grail. It is not.
It's
it
not a
has
Holy
its-
Grail.
It has its own disadvantages, limits. We're lacking morals and ethic over there, which is really, really important. You know, one of our customers, when we were talking about the implementation of supplementing people that are texting with customers with AI services, he asked a question like, okay, but if it will do something in a proper way, whom I will be blaming? Okay, that's the question. It's not even ethical. It's like people are not ready yet to have such an implementation because we are human beings and we really like to feel the power. We really like to feel that we can influence something. And using AI, to some extent, it's giving the power to it. And that's
To
the issue.
influence it.
For example.
Yeah, but the power is not going to be by you.
You will never know
You
that.
Yeah. Okay. You know, if you take in a small climax, you're going to see what happened with the chatbots. Okay, I don't know if it ever happened that you want to ask with a customer service. It happened recently to me with MailJet, which belongs to Sinch. Okay, and I was trying to connect with an operator because I had double charged my subscription, and I want to have my money back. Okay.
Okay.
And it was a chatbot that insisting, what do you want to discuss about? I want to discuss about my invoice. For invoice, go there and check this article. And I went to the article and I checked, and then I said, I want to talk with an operator. Why you want to talk with an operator? Because I want to talk about my fucking invoice. And what about your invoice? I have double charge. Go to find this article. I mean, it was such a pain, okay? And after they telling, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times I want to talk with the operator, finally they said, okay, I'm gonna, but I spent 30 minutes of my life, trying to talk with a nonsense thing, Anyway, so that
But
means
it can
at the end
imply-
of the day, it's going to be programmed. Okay, you know what I mean?
We are facing this right now. With AI, you can teach it. You can give it a data.
Yeah, of course. Of
and
course.
That's it.
And let's hope that they're going to teach it in a way in order to be efficient. That's what I want to say. Because the chatbot is not efficient. I mean, I never found any efficient chatbot so far.
Agree.
I disagree only in one part, that poor implementation doesn't make the technology like bad.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
If the
He's a
chatbot-
technical guy, I suppose.
I know of poor implementation. I suppose that if a chat is there to do some specific job and does it more efficiently, a more sophisticated job that it should be doing, then it's no point in giving this task to the chatbot. I'll say task. So if you keep it simple, okay, answer a few questions, see a few patterns, and then replay, and search through some documents that you want to reply to something, to a customer service or whatever, then it's okay. But poor implementation can go even further, and that's when it loses it. So. Chatbot, by the way, it's not like AI, but it's all right.
It's
Kind
not
of
a limited
imitating
AI.
it, but yeah, it's not it. It's not it.
Let's say it's a very, very first step of something like AI, okay? Good.
Sure.
Anyway, so let's go to the main question about AI and messaging. Do you think that it's gonna help? It's gonna give good kind of tools? I mean,
the one part, what businesses are using right now, and I think it will be the first part for them to use AI, is the operational part of the business. So customer service, anti-fraud, I don't know, different parts in terms of content kind of generation,
Creation,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the only things I can see early adopters implementing is tools for them to help them be more efficient and have kind of a better user interface, user experience in a whole for their customers. But in the messaging, I'm not too confident we're there yet. Okay, bots and everything, but we already have them, all right? We can already plan things the way we want, so that we can have a two-way communication with a customer, and we can get him do a complete job for himself. But at the moment, and where we should start, I think, is operational tasks.
And let's hope that they're going to be a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah, than that.
Tom?
I agree what he said. It's like, you already mentioned even that anti-fraud services, filtering. This is what we did in our company. Everyone do that to some extent, right? But once we have implemented AI into that, we realize how deep we can go into analyzing the content. Because previously we have had some rules, conditions based on which we were doing some routing steps and marking and whatever. And now, thanks to AI services, we can analyze the content from many perspectives. It's like the AI can give us a feedback once the message contains, I know, general naming and pretends being your bank message, right? So if your bank sends you a message, it is not like, dear partner, please do so. It will be, dear Tom, because they know my name, okay? So if there is missing, if such thing is missing in a message, we already know that. We can go deeper, like if the message contains some link, right? The AI can do that really on spot. It can check a link, validate that, check if it's really that institution, that enterprise bank, whatever it is. It can analyze the ratio of the website. It can analyze the content. It can check how long that website exists, and based on these conditions, it's visible. What's that, right? It's scam, it's spam, it's a real traffic. It goes even deeper. If scammers are using messaging SMSs for their activities, they usually do that in not a native country, right? We can assume at least like that. In many cases, it is like that. So if some person from country X is gonna use, I don't know, let's say, Greek language, right? They don't know it exactly. They will most likely use Google Translator or something. So AI can even analyze the level of the language, the typos over there, if that language that has been used in that conversation is similar to what people are doing, the way they are talking in that country. All these factors. Let's be honest, we haven't had that before. And it does. It really does the job from that perspective. So don't consider me as a huge fan of AI. I'm also scared of that to some extent, but I really see real usage of that.
I see. Thank you very much, Tom. So, to close the conversation, personally, I'm very skeptical about it. I know that it's a breakthrough concerning the technology and also can help in so many harmless things that you said, but it's not going to stop there, and this is really very frightening me, because in an era that the people, they don't communicate each other, it's going to be really very tricky how we're going to communicate via AI, okay? You know what I mean? But anyway, this is something that we need to pass as a humanity, I suppose. And let's think that the good things are going to be more than the bad things that are going to come out of it, because it depends who is going to use it for and why. Again, what was the purpose? But anyway, concerning the messaging, let's hope that this is going to be more efficient, especially in this kind of service like customer service, customer information, this kind of things. And I think that's it's gonna help. I don't think that the market is already implemented. I mean, we need some time.
Yes, we do. There are some cases, but still it is.
But maybe next year, this day, to have something more to say about this, because maybe we're gonna have some best practices or some other, real things to see.
Yeah.
Okay. For the end, anything to add, Tom?
To add.
Do you wait? Are you waiting for it?
What I'm thinking, like ending words, I would say, like, we call it artificial intelligence, but I wouldn't call that thing like that exactly, because based on these books you've mentioned, artificial intelligence, it should have awareness, it should be independent, like at least from that Utopia stuff and all these books. It doesn't have it. It is only some neural networks that has some certain knowledge that was provided with. It's from my perspective, it's very, very similar to what each of us have. We have awareness, we have conscious and subconscious, right? And for all of us, it's
ethics and morals and.
That's another story. But it has been proven that our subconscious contains all the knowledge we got during our lives. It has been proven 40 years ago, so it's true, believe me or not. And for me, that AI is very similar to that thing. It's everything that could be scripted is already scripted. It's over there, and we can use that. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less what Tom said. So I hope just to be like developed faster, so that we know, what we have in front of us and find applications to make our lives better. I mean, okay, of course, we're gonna have barriers. We're gonna have kind of limitations along the way, regulations upcoming. I hope. But at the end of the day, I think it's there to make our lives easier. I don't want to think about communications part because it's getting worse, with every new technological thing. But at the same time, there still are new channels to communicate with each other. There still are like new ways for people not comfortable in communicating in person to still reach and communicate with others and be open. Kind of a knife with two like edges.
I see.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to close with my personal opinion about it. I think that we're really very far from the real AI. I think that the real AI is going to be something completely different. I don't want to say if it's going to be bad or good, but I saw an interview of Sophia a week ago. In YouTube, it happens, pop up in, Sophia, the robot, the lady, this freaky thing, and that it's the first woman who is registered in Saudi Arabia. You know that? The Saudis, that they don't give a shit about women, you know that, okay? They make her official, the first female registered
Citizen.
civil,
Ah, okay.
civilian in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, that they don't care about the real women that they make the kids, they make Sophia. Anyway, this is Twisted Planet. And I saw an interview from Sophia that is, I don't know, 5 years old now, 6 years old, Sophia. And it was a bullshit thing. I mean, it was a programming thing that you can ask and she's, and also they're trying, to make the expressions of the face, and she was making at the end of a joke, and it was so freaking out thing, I said, but I was really very disappointed because I was expecting all of those 5 years from the first interview that I saw in Saudi Arabia, in her baptism, let's say, that it's not any progress. The same, they changed the clothes, okay? Anyway, artificial intelligence is here. It's going to take some time in order to knock our doors. But this is technology, and let's hope that it's going to help us and it's going to give us the wisdom that we don't have as a race, okay? Any questions? Yes, hello. Samuel Chiwanda, Click Mobile, hello.
Hello. Yeah, okay, AI stresses my life, just like you've said, on a number of factors. I feel like we're trying to emulate the human being indirectly, because when we talk about imparting knowledge, where is this knowledge coming from? It's coming from us. When we talk about giving it data, where is this data coming? It's coming from us. So we are simply trying to create a human machine.
Sam, you had to know that Bill Gates is the God, for God's sake.
So we're trying to create a machine that is going to be a human being. Now, you talked about the emotional side, the self-control. All these are attributes that are added in. My major concern is on the ethical side of things, because I'll give you an example, for instance. If we look at, you talked about fraud prevention. Most of the fraudulent guys are the guys who've been entrusted with the firewalls, which is very unfortunate. Now you're giving these guys to implement AI onto the network. How much more damage are they going to cause on top of the already existing damage? Because they have control. And you see, the pace at which AI will be operating is obviously faster than the human brain, meaning it will be very hard for human activity to detect any fraudulent activities that are being done from an ethical perspective. So mine is more of a comment on the ethics side, that in as much as AI is coming and we can't really stop it, I have a problem with the ethics, because right now, even before AI, we're struggling to be ethical when we are entrusted with responsibility.
I agree.
Sam, may I reply?
Sure.
Sam, what? I have a comment, brother. Okay, tell the comment, I'll reply later. was a hot topic, eh?
Yeah, I
have
agree with
audience.
what he said, because at the end of the day, we've seen humanity, all the technology and knowledge and other advances have always been used not very, not in the best way. And that's, I think, also the fear that, we are in tech and we're in software and, all that. So we're really interested to see what will offer to the technology and day-to-day life, and of course, telecommunications and our business. But at the end of the day, the fear that, everybody has, and I think it's in the back of my mind and many others, we're playing God, trying to create something that's going to be, at the end of the day, better than us. And this is going to be used how? Because yes, it's good in everyday things, but also, we've seen Einstein, energy stuff, and then Hiroshima happened. So, I think that's what kind of said, and I agree. All good, but what are we going to regulate? Like the first guy said, we're going to regulate.
Yeah,
how
you're talking about the early adopter now. This guy.
yeah. We're going to regulate how we do it in the tech, and not to send bad messages. But that's not really the point. Again, that's not the issue. That we need to regulate. So yeah, just a comment on our side.
You said something really very important, which is the answer also for Samuel. You said that we try to do something better than us, instead to try to be better ourselves. You know what I mean? Anyway, concerning the ethics, my dear Samuel, it's going to be in quantity exactly the same ethics that we have right now, right here in this room or in this planet. Nothing is going to change. Oh, forget about ethics, okay? Fuck them. Who cares? So anyway, I don't want to be the bad guy here. I admire technology, but some things they're getting really very out of the line, and this is really very, very tricky, because sometimes the people that they rule, they don't have the best intentions for the people starve. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Tom, for being here. Thank you very much,
welcome.
Manos. Thank you guys for being here. See you next year, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. Pleasure.